My name is Commander Harinder Sikka. Not too long ago, I was in college opposite, Khalsa College. And this college was one of the most favorite places for people who will cross here. What I'm going to share with you is an amazing journey I have had that very few people can even think of. And my purpose to talk to you is that to tell you what I learned 50 years later, you can learn now and do something which people think is impossible. My parents came from Pakistan. I was born here in 58 under a tin roof. 4 of us lived one room. If it was 45 degree outside, it was 50 degree inside, and in cold likewise. Third meal was a question. That's how I schooled out from Ludlow Castle, now government public school here. Then joined Khalsa College. I was an ace hockey player. Didn't have shoes. Couldn't play. I joined Navy in 1979. Against all odds, I was an art graduate, and it is mandatory for the Navy to take only science graduates. But there was this deep driving desire to join Navy. And I would talk to somebody, I don't know how. So in 79, the UPSC exam, the government of India or the UPSC made a mistake. It missed out one line which should have said, science is mandatory. I appeared in that exam, passed out from there. First go, I graduated from the SSB. I was in Navy. In 1980, they took me on a ship as a cadet to Mauritius. And my eyes were popping out. A motorcycle could start with a button, and I could not figure out how. And that is the time I realized that Navy is not my destiny. I served for 14 years, did things that few can even think of. I was the only missile gunnery trained officer who fired largest number of SAMs, the surface-to-air missiles, and that record stays as on date. However, I wanted to do different thing. I joined management. Those days MBA used to be very serious business. I did that and resigned. Went to Tokyo to do intellectual property rights in 2000 when India was not TRIPS compliant. And joined Piramal Group. The soldier in me refused to bow down. In 1999, when the Kargil battle war took place, I went back to Kargil as an embedded journalist. That is when I started writing, calling Sehmat. Trust me, girls, I do not know how to write. I'm being as honest as possible. But when you put your feet in those shoes which Sehmat did, and when you make a visit to Pakistan, aware that you're wearing a turban, they'll recognize you from far distance. If you're caught, God bless you. I went not once, I went twice. Came back, finished calling Sehmat. I refuse to give it to anybody unless and until my demands are fulfilled. So first lesson I learned from Sehmat, don't buckle down. And I even turned down, it's in public domain, a company called Red Chilies. I did not know what is Red Chilies. And later on I learned that it is Shah Rukh Khan and so on and so forth. And we had a few chats many times. But Bollywood did not let me enter for 10 years. The book was finished in 2008. But I had a hope that things will happen. Again, I would talk to somebody and I'll explain you how and why. And was aware that something will happen. It took 10 years. In 2018, first time in its history, a book first published by Konark, a small time publisher, Penguin took it up. In 2018, Penguin released the book. It became amongst the top 50 books globally. And they called me Jeffrey Archer of India. Jeffrey Archer himself invited me to London. It's not easy. It is something else was happening. I knew I was not an author. I was only putting my emotions down. But there was this force behind it. Then the film came in. Razi, as you all know. But I was not happy with that story. I had appointed Meghna Gulzar, which was my condition, that I will appoint. A writer doesn't do this. But I decided that no, I will decide the actors, the story will not be changed, the dialogues will be as follows. In the meanwhile, I produced a film called Nanak Shah Fakir. And I can't take a picture from my camera properly. Sounds funny? But you stepping on impossibilities, they become possible. Unless you don't try, how will you win? Nanak Shah Fakir went on to win 3 national awards, including the most coveted Nargis Dutt Award for Best Feature Film on National Integration. The film went to Cannes, Los Angeles, Toronto. Who would have heard all these things? How did this film become film? Simply put, Guru Nanak was not a Sikh. He was a saint who said that there is but one God, and your God cannot be bigger than mine. As simple as that. He said, So kyu banda aakhiye jit jamme rajan. It means, why demean her who gives birth even to the kings? So as ladies, as girls, as women, you are more powerful, more respected. You are the creator that nobody else can be. Unless and until you think yourself like this, you will remain subdued, as they say in a man's world. So film went to President House for special screening, to Capitol Hill in US. It was happening to me. This is the only film, ladies, in the world which has no name of a director. I was so convinced that I did not make it. But Pandit Chasraj came and sang, Rasool Pukutti, Thomas Contelenon from Hollywood, and Guru Jas, 2 Grammy Award winners from Hollywood. They sang in their films. Most of them said, we do not want money from this film. Sonu Nigam rang, Kailash Kher. You name it, I could think of, and they will somehow appear. That power in your soul, the strength of the mind which lives in between the 6 inches spaces between your 2 ears, is a mighty powerful machinery. And then I took on the government. I wrote an article called Have Some Sympathy, Mr. Sinha, you are budgeting nightmares for cancer patients. I was running a campaign against spurious drugs, and when Mr. Sinha, the finance minister, and we were a healthcare company, charged a 25% additional duty onto cancer drugs, anti-cancer drugs. This article became a star question in Parliament, and I was summoned by Mr. Sinha. I wrote him an apology that said that it's my pent-up anguish that I wrote this, and it is not personal attack on you, but to bring to your knowledge that cancer patients cannot afford this rise in prices. My second para was, I, however, stand by my article. He said, please get lost. Minister, use the word, please leave. But that leave had no meaning. I went out. I was next called by Babji, Prime Minister of India, and Vajpayee Saab. And he said, Ab kya kar diya? Because he knew what I had done in Kargil. I said, is this the government 300 crores worth of taxes you will make on cancer patients? I was summoned back to Finance Ministry. This time, I was asked to sit. Offered coffee. They knew I love filter coffee. I had coffee. The minister threw that paper at me. There's a notice in your name. And I was smiling because I saw that what is coming in. There's only one ordinance in this country which says that drug prices, VAT, extra additional prices, and prices VAT on our duties on all life-saving drugs stands removed. This was Mr. Major Jaswant Singh, the new finance minister. Saab removed Yashwant Sinha. That is your power. You determine it. You think that you cannot do it. And I'm an ordinary mortal. And then, if that was not good enough, I wrote an article against health ministry that the vitamin A that you are selling to this world is spurious, which is meant for infants to prevent the blindness. And there was hue and cry. Since World Bank was floating this, I went on my cost to World Bank, and but many people over there came back, went to Mr. Vittal, who was the CVC, and showed him that proof. The two companies selling spurious vitamin A were banned for 5 years. You see, if you are out and out to serve with a clear heart, the force within, the spine behind and your back, it strengthens. That the power lies within you. Your soul is your strength. But when you think that these diamonds, these watches, shoes, they will decide what you are writing your destiny of being a loser there and then. So all that I'm saying to you is, think about it. Now, how do you think about it? Last few minutes, manifestation. What I used to do is, I used to dream. I used to dream very big, impossibilities. And those things, start thinking that today. When you sleep at night, tell yourself, this is my silence is your biggest strength. Talking to yourself and keeping yourself happy within is another power. If anybody tells you to kill animals in the name of God, or to belittle humans, or to belittle a poor man, you're making a blunder. Thank you very much.